Oh man, the Elder Scrolls 1 Arena. Oh man, I dumped so many hours into Skyrim and Oblivion, and oh man, I just heard that Arena and Daggerfall are free on Steam. Oh man, I just can't wait to see where it all came from. You know, I dumped so many hours into Skyrim and Oblivion. They were such great games. Oh man, I just can't wait to check out this game and see where it all started and just how good the Elder Scrolls series has been throughout the whole series. You know, like I'm sure, despite its age, that it's probably a really good game with a really straightforward story. I mean, let's just go ahead and get into. Oh Lord, my ears! Oh man, this intro has some epic music. Look at that. Look at that beautiful pixel art and this story that I don't really care for. I'm just going to skip past it all. Yeah, but isn't that just some beautiful sprite work? Look at all that. Anyways, where's character creation? Alright, let's see here. How do you wish to select your class? Oh yeah, the older games like Oblivion let you have classes, right? Well, I'm just going to select a class, okay? Oh, let's see here. Ooh, these classes look kind of like the classes, some of these classes seem like the kind of classes you expect, like Dungeons & Dragons or Baldur's Gate 3. Yeah. Oh, let's see here. Sorcerer. Oh yes, heavily armored magic user. I want to throw fireballs everywhere. What do I name my sorcerer? Oh, I don't know. El Fireball. Yeah, El Fireball. He's definitely a cool dude. From where doth thou hail, El Fireball? Oh, look, Skyrim in Cyrodiil. Why is it called the Imperial Province? Well, I want to be an Imperial. Why isn't it working? Okay, I'll be a Nord. I was chosen Skyrim, land of the Nords. Yes, I want to be a Nord. I want to be El Fireball the Nord. Sorcerer, El Fireball. Okay, cool. Well, anyways, strong northern winds. That's just flavor text. I don't care about this. Let's see here. What's character creation really like? Alright, let's see here. Oh. Okay, just 3D5 points as needed to keep him up. Oh, look at this. It's kind of like Oblivion with all the different stats. You have strength, intelligence, willpower. Well, I know that strength means more damage. Actually, wait. What am I doing? I'm a sorcerer. Sometimes I like to play sorcerers, so now I would like to use all my points into intelligence. Reroll stats. I guess our intelligence is pretty low. Oh, that's a much higher number. Let's just throw it all into intelligence. Without any consideration of any other stat whatsoever. Alright, now let's get a move on. Change appearance. What, like this? Oh, cool. You can actually change your face. Isn't that neat? Yeah, that guy looks neat. He has a handlebar mustache. Kind of reminds me of a biker. Alright. Get out of here, you random cutscene. I'm not going to listen to that. Oh, man. Look at this. Isn't this wonderful? Oh, man. I mean, it's kind of like a point and click. I have to use arrow keys. Are you serious? Oh, man, yeah. I guess I have to walk around. I mean, it looks like I'm in a cell. Lock has nothing to fear for me? Is that a key? I'm going to take it. You found the ruby key. Yes, I'm so good at this game. Alright. Let's go on through here. Alright. Let's see here. It's pretty dark out here. It's hard to see. Is that a rat? Ha! Eat my fireball. Not enough spell points. Wait a minute. I'm a sorcerer. I have spell points 0 out of 159. Why is that the case? Okay, very well. I'll attack you. Why isn't it working? I'm attacking. I'm attacking as much as I can. Nothing's happening. The rat. His teeth is too much. The rat is kicking my ass. There's nothing I can possibly do. How do you play this game?
Is that you? Playing Arena for the very first time, and you don't even know how to throw a punch, nor do you even know what the various different classes do, nor why your sorcerer character couldn't cast spells when you first entered the game. Well, if that is in fact the case for you, then this may be the video for you, just to show you how Arena is actually supposed to work. So sit back, relax, grab yourself some coffee. We're going in for quite the ride. Alright, so first we want to start a new game. So of course, this introduction here, as loud as it may be, I toned it down for you guys, is actually quite important to the story, and part of Arena is the fact that you're supposed to pay attention to a lot of the story. Well, you see, the game starts off with a bit of a background intro, basically talking about how Jagger Thorn, some dude, managed to call in the Emperor to this palace, and, well, after months of preparation, he claims the throne by just banishing the Emperor, killing his apprentice, and, yeah, he basically just owns everything. So, you know, pretty bad stuff. And he replaced all of the Imperial servants with, monsters. So basically all the monsters you fight are actually just, well, a replacement of the Imperial Guards. Now, when it comes to class selection, your class really affects how you're going to play the game. So, it is really good to keep the UESP up just to see what each class does. However, I am going to do just a basic breakdown. I've looked at the UESP long enough and I've played the game enough times that I can at least give you a general breakdown on what each class does and what their up and downs are. So of course you have three main archetypes: the thief, the mage, and the fighter, the warrior. Thieves are really good at just running around fast. They can steal a bunch of stuff. They're just good at taking stuff and picking locks and pockets. Mages can cast spells. Pretty useful. Like you can just heal your wounds, throw a fireball, do all sorts of stuff. And warriors just wear heavy armor and hit shit with big clubs. Now, acrobats. Acrobats are a thief class that are good at jumping really far. They can use minor equipment, and their thief skills are somewhat decent. Archers. They're pretty good at using a bow. They can wear some good armor, and other than that, they're just good at using bows. They're a warrior class. Assassins are a thief class that have a really high crit chance with all melee weapons, which archers have a high crit chance with bows. Assassins have a high crit chance with like swords, claymores, axes, wakizashis, katanas, everything. And they can wear only up to leather armor, being a thief. And yeah, they're just really good at killing stuff pretty quickly. Barbarian, a lot of health, can only wear up to leather. A warrior class that's usually seen with an axe. Bards do a little bit of everything. They're like the classic D&D style bards. You get a bit of magic, a bit of fighting, a bit of thievery. And they are technically a thief class, but you do get a bit of magic, which is like the main thing of bards, is they're the one thief class that actually gets magic, the one non-mage class that gets magic at least. Battle mage. You can sling damaging spells very frequently. Basically, damaging spells cost less. Also, battle mages are a mage archetype. Damaging spells cost less, healing spells cost more. Burglar. The first class I ever picked in this game just because I thought it sounded cool. Do not pick this class on your first playthrough. Please, for the love of all that is holy, do not torture yourself with this class, nor any of the other three bait classes. Burglars are a thief class that are really good at picking locks. Like, really good at picking locks. That's about their one upside, right? Well, they have mediocre XP gain, they can't really wear anything past leather, and they can only use, get this, daggers, daggers, tonos, short swords, and short bows. Only weapons they can use throughout the entire game. Do not play a burglar. Healer is one of my favorite classes. You get half mana for casting healing spells, however it's double mana to cast damaging spells, and they are a mage archetype, so they get a lot of magic. Knights. These guys can wear very heavy armor. Their downside is they can't wear leather. They're a warrior archetype who can repair their own gear, and that's about everything for knights. Knights just repair their own gear. Mage, bare bones mage archetype. They get decent like alteration-ish spells, and they're pretty glass cannony. They have pretty low hit points and can't really use very strong weaponry. However, you just throw a bunch of spells at them, so not really much of an issue there. Monks, another one of the three bait classes. Monks have a high crit chance similar to assassins, and they can use any weapon similar to assassins, and they have another special ability where they can basically say no to a spell, where if a spell hits you, you typically roll a chance to negate half the damage. Monks can just negate all of the damage on that roll on a success, but off of success it's still full damage. So it's kind of a niche ability that wouldn't really show up that much unless you're really building your character to be a magic nullifier. However, monks have significantly lower health than assassins, and they cannot wear any armor at all. Like, at all. So they basically are the most glass cannon assassins you would ever find. Nightblades, they get really good at, they're good at using illusion knight like spells. They also get some thief skills. They got crit chance. They can wear up to leather armor. They can use short bows and a few thief weapons like short blades and whatnot. So yeah, Nightblades, Mage archetype. Ranger, Warrior archetype, they can wear the heaviest armor, and their weapons deal more damage every level up, just outright, like they gain a full-blown physical damage boost across the board for all physical weapons. So basically the class for fighting and brawling, and as you level up more, the distance, the time it takes to travel distances is like shrunken down a bit more. So in theory, you could travel across the entirety of Tamriel in like, if you level up enough, maybe like 10 days to go from Daggerfall to Thorn and Daggerfall in High Rock all the way to Thorn and Blackmarsh, you know. So yeah, Rangers can go on their horse pretty fast. Rogues! Rogues are a thief archetype that are basically fighter thieves. Their whole gimmick is that they are good at stealing and stuff. They're good at crit chance and whatnot, and they can also use some pretty decent weapons and armor. I think they can actually wear chain. Sorcerer, another bait class. Sorcerers, as you've seen in this little introduction thing I did, they don't start with their spell points, and you cannot restore spell points from resting. Instead, you have to actually absorb spells from incoming attacks to actually gain your spell points. And sorcerers have the lowest hit points in the entire game, meaning that you would want to heavily rely on your magic, which you would not have at the beginning, especially since your intelligence and your willpower would not be high enough to give yourself enough of a spell absorption to make spell absorption actually worth it. Because the way sorcerers work is you get spell absorption based off of half of your willpower plus half of your intelligence, and then placed into a percentage. So 50 intelligence and 50 intelligence and 50 willpower would mean a 50 spell points, a 50 spell absorption effect, and 50 intelligence and 60 willpower would mean 55% spell absorption. So yeah, spell swords. Spell swords are another mage archetype. They're really good at using both fighting and magic. They basically get the best of both worlds. They got a lot of spells and a lot of fighting capabilities. They don't really have much past that, though. They aren't quite as versatile as bards, and they don't they don't really have that many like thief skills, and they aren't really like a specialist in any way. They can only wear up to like chain and use some swords here and there, and they get like only 150 spell points, similar to Nightblade. Thief. Thieves are the most basic of the thief archetype. They can steal pretty well. They can pick locks pretty decently, pick pockets pretty decently. They also have a decent crit chance, and on top of that, they have the highest XP gain in the entire game, meaning you level up really fast as a thief and no other class. Warrior. Warriors just get everything in the game, except for spells. They get all of the combative stuff. They get every weapon and they get every armor. That's it. That's it for warriors. They have a pretty decent health pool. Now, for showing off how to play Arena and how to go about things, I think I'm going to go for Bard, simply because Bards are good at a little bit of everything. So what I'm going to show off in Arena will be a little bit of everything to show off stuff that might prove useful regardless of whatever class you pick. Hell, even if you pick a bard. So, I'm going to name thy bard, and I don't know, we're just going to name him something random like I'm going to name him Steve Steelington. So yeah, Steve Steelington is going to be our bard. Our bardic dude. And now to pick where you actually come from. Now, each province does provide various boosts to your race, to your character in general, based off of your race. Dark Elves are good at using every weapon there is under the sun. They basically have this, like, over time as you level up, all weapons have an increased hit chance. It's like once every 4 levels the hit chance goes up with all weapons. Hammerfell, Red Guards, there is actually a glitch here. Red Guards and Bosmer actually have flipped buffs that I think might be fixed in certain mods. However, Red Guards, if you just play Arena from Steam, Red Guards get an increased hit chance with bows and daggers that goes up like once every 3 levels, and Bosmer, the Wood Elves, gets an increased hit chance to all melee weapons except bows and daggers every 3 levels. And you can probably already tell that that is in fact flipped, and if you've played any of the later games, you would definitely tell that that's definitely flipped, and that Red Guards are meant to be the go-to warrior kick your ass with anything race, and the Valenwood Bosmer are meant to be the go-to I will shoot your ass from 30 yards away race. Anyways, elsewhere, Khajiit, they can climb out of pits a little faster. They actually don't really get much in this game. It's actually kind of dumb. Argonians, I don't remember what Argonians get just off the top of my head, so I guess I could look it up. But from what I remember, it might be in Daggerfall, but Argonians, I think they just get like a stamina increase, like a stamina regen when in water. I know that's the case in Daggerfall. I'm not sure what it is here in Arena. I guess I should have done some actual research for it. Because I mean, I'm just talking based off of the knowledge I got. I haven't really played as Argonians that much. But yeah, y'all can look up what Argonians do, and if y'all like Argonians, play an Argonian. Skyrim Nords. If I remember correctly, I think it's actually in this arc that there is a bit of a resistance buff. Like, I think Argonians do have poison resistance, and Dunmer also have fire resistance on top of their weapon buff, which is actually kind of broken. Nords get cold resistance, and I don't think they really get much else. I think it's literally just cold resistance, so not really good. The Bretons get magic resistance, though. So yeah, poison, fire, cold, magic. Unless it's shock. Well, anyways, Bretons get some magic resistance, Nords get some cold resistance. Altmer are one of the most favorite race in Arena, just because Altmer just so happen to have immunity to paralysis in Arena and Daggerfall, which I think is honestly a little too broken. I never play on Altmer just because I just think it's a little too busted. So, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to play... I'm feeling like a Khajiit today. You know, the Khajiit are just fast and agile. And my game almost crashed there, if you like. So, yeah, Steve Steelington, the Khajiit. I just realized that I just kind of fell to a bit of a stereotype there. Oh well. Oh, to the feline race. Yep. Must be intelligent and personable to succeed as a bard. Huh, I never seen that before. I guess I never played as a bard before, but still. Cool. Yeah, and I know that Khajiit are like fast and intelligent. Distribute thy points Now this here is a bit of a reroll system. I think 13 is the highest you can get on a roll, though I'm not too sure. I know agility is one of the most broken stats in this entire game because it increases your 2-hit chance and 2-defend chance, meaning you dodge more often and hit more often as your agility is increased. And I mean, wow, we really have like almost averages across the board. You know what? Here. Actually, no, I can't go down that far. Here. I'm going to re-roll. There we go, 14. So, here. I'm going to put my endurance up to a basic 50. I'm going to put willpower up to basic 50. This isn't really viable, but I'm only doing this, getting 50s across the board, merely because I'm just playing a bard today, just to try and show off as much as possible. So, willpower affects your magical defense, just your spell save chance. Bards get like half mana, so half their or actually that's just straight up their intelligence. And bards are said to have the lowest spell point amount. So yeah, that's still a pretty decent amount. That's up to 100 spell points. So that's still enough to cast just about any spell you want. Strength affects how much damage you deal with every hit. Agility affects how much you hit, your chances to hit and defend. And endurance affects your total hit points every time you level up. There's like a roll. And I mean, just with it being here, it just means that we'll get a basic bard dice roll every hit point, every time we level up. Alright, and we are starting with 146 gold, 109 fatigue. Yeah, that seems fine. Alright, I'll save these stats. And now we can change our appearance around to something a bit more, yeah, that looks like a bard face, if I ever seen one. Alright. Now, this here is quite important. Whenever you play Arena, you do want to listen to Rhea Silman here, because she actually tells you how to leave the tutorial. Yeah, basically she'll tell you that there's a shift gate, you know?
Look to the north wall of the cell. You will find a ruby key which will unlock the door.
As you can see, she's telling you about the key. That's, you've seen even in there.
Used by Tharn to hide treasures he had stolen from the Emperor's coffer. If you wish, you can gather enough to support yourself away from the Imperial seat. Be careful. There are many creatures which inhabit the sewers now. Vile rats and goblins. It is too late for me, for I am already dead. Only my powers as a sorceress keep me between this life and the next. That power, however, is waning. Do not succumb to greed, or you may find these tunnels to be your final resting place as well. I can still work my magic to a certain extent. If you travel west from this cell, then south, you will find a shift gate. It will transport you far enough from the center of the Empire that you should be safe.
And that's the only part you actually need to know. So yeah, there's a shift gate on the other side of the Imperial prison, far to the west and then south. So, we have our fists out because I had my fists out in the previous save. However, all these buttons down here do actually do something, so the sword icon actually raises your fist. Now to attack in this game, you want to hold right on the mouse button and move your mouse just around the screen. And you'll just throw your punches all day long. Now, I just clicked on the face down here, and as you can see, there's our character sheet, our stats. If we go to next page, we'll see that we have a short sword. Every class does start with like a basic sword-like weapon or something. Oh, and You may think this is crazy seeing all these +8s around here. So this here is armor rating. However, it is THAC0 armor rating base. So pluses means enemies have, it's almost THAC0 actually. Basically, if I remember correctly, this is armor rating for how much damage you actually resist per part of your body that an enemy attacks. So if an enemy attacks my hand here, that enemy will deal an extra 8 damage per attack they land, or an extra 8 damage per attack they land on my shoulder, or my torso, or my head, or my legs, or my feet, or my other shoulder. So yeah, you basically want armor, and the lower the armor rating, the better, because once you get your armor rating into the negatives, that means that enemies will deal less damage, because it'll be that enemy attacks you, and then it's like, oh, I don't know, -8 from that damage. Like, oh, -8. Now, to move around, you could use the arrow keys. However, I personally find that it's really easy to utilize the mouse cursor a bit more. As you can see, as I move the mouse cursor to each side of the screen, it turns into an arrow that changes direction. If you just hold left mouse button, you'll just move wherever that arrow is pointing. And I mean, it just makes it to where moving around is just so much easier. And I mean, it's really easy to just go from moving to just attacking, because you would be going from holding left mouse button to suddenly holding right mouse button to stand still and attack, and then run away and attack somewhere else. So yeah, you can actually do a few moves. Now, this game will not naturally save here, so I'm going to open up this cell here. This game will not naturally save for you at the slightest. So I'm going to drop a save here. As you can see, I already have a few saves from just playing this game before. This here is just going to be my Steve save, though. So we're just going to call this Steve. Steve Steelington. And now, there are loot piles around this dungeon. Loot piles can have gear. If I were to reload my save here, it would actually have some better gear, simply because these loot piles are purely randomized. So I'm just going to show it off. I'm not going to sit here to basically try and get the best gear possible, for the simple reason that, oh yeah, and you can see here, as I equip the shield, both shoulders and my hands actually lower in armor rating, which means enemies will now deal +6 damage every time they attack my shoulders or my hands. And yeah, I guess yeah, that is my torso. That makes sense. Yeah, so anyways, the only reason I'm not going to constantly reload and do that is just because I wanted to show that off. You can reload and constantly save scum that one loot pile until you eventually just get any like amount of ebony gear, because there is no such thing as leveled gear in this game. Gear just spawn, like loot will just spawn based off of what loot tables are available. Also, as y'all can see, I just killed that rat that gave us so much trouble before within seconds. And of course, you would want to take this path down here, going down that hall and heading to this corridor here. And across this way, there are usually some goblins. And if you left click with your mouse cursor out like this, you can actually like peer into the darkness and see what you see. However, I'm not really seeing any goblins out here. Now, J is to jump. What you want to do for jumping is you want to usually get a good running start, and you want to hold down left mouse button, running forward, and then you just press J whenever you need to jump to, well, jump. And I guess the goblins didn't spawn this time around. They usually spawn. Oh yeah, and as you can see, I took a little bit of damage. However, we have light heal here. Not enough spell points. Wait a minute. Okay, let's see how many spell points, let's see here, because these spells should, okay. So 70 spell points to cast Light Heal. Okay, so despite the fact that we have Light Heal, we cannot cast it, nor can we cast our simple Fire Dart spell. We actually need to get our spell points a lot higher. However, as you level up, spells do get cheaper just as you go, just in general. So the more we level up, the better. And I'm going to, on these niches, you can actually rest until fully healed without, okay, typically without getting enemies after you. Basically enemies would spawn just like that if you rest normally on any floor. However, if you rest in some of these niches, some of them will actually provide safety and prevent enemies from spawning on top of you. Now, if I remember correctly, it's this path this way, and I believe this niche. Okay, when you can hear enemies like that, that does mean you're unable to rest, so I'm not even going to bother. I'm going to run here. I can hear rats. Yeah, rats will actually get into this area to mess with you. It's kind of annoying. Enemies still nearby. Okay, cool. Well, anyways, we can just continue running through. You know, it's a basic dungeon crawler. This game isn't necessarily hard once you understand how the controls work, and really, the controls are all you really need to know. Because past controls, it's just normal gameplay. Strange. Oh, there's a rat here. Alright, well, anyways, now that we go down this way, you can see there's a shimmering... There we go, we just leveled up. So now we are level 2, and we have 5 points we can spend. I'm going to drop all of them into agility to increase our hit chance and defend chance. And as you can see, we gain some health from that as well. We now have up to 40 health maximum. And, oh yeah, we should also check and see our spellbook here. Yeah, as you can see, Light Heal costs only 35 mana now, and Fire Dart only costs 41 mana. Oh, and as we increase our agility, it also decreases our armor rating, which is also a good thing. So yeah, I guess now, since this is only 35, also another thing, as you level up, on top of spells costing less, they also increase just more in potency. So as you can see, this spell at level 1 would heal 1 to 2 points plus 4 to 5 points. But at level 2, because this is 4 to 5 points per level, per 1 levels, then instead, this spell heals 1 to 2 plus 8 to 10. So this heals anywhere from 9 all the way up to 12. Which is, you know, like that definitely sounded cooler before I actually said it out loud, but still, that's a lot of healing. And we can actually use this spell once. However, it is, I would suggest before you leave the tutorial dungeon, one thing I do like to do is to drop a save here and then camp until fully healed, because enemies will spawn, and enemies, as you kill them, will give you XP, and sometimes, well, you will lose health very quickly and die. However, you can just reload your game now that we actually dropped that save. And yeah, it seems like my arena is being funky now. But anyways, yeah, so we can try and rest here once again. I'm not going to do it too much, but I am going to try and not... Okay, so this game, when it comes to enemies spawning in, there is the off chance that bandits will pop in. Bandit enemies are really hard to fight in the early game, but are easier to fight in the later game. Um, so yeah, just keep an eye out for bandits like this one who's about to kill me. Unless I can heal and not survive. Alright. Well, anyways, I at least wanted to show that off, I guess, a little bit. Now with that out of the way, all we need to do is leave the shift gate. And just like that, you've left the tutorial. So yeah, I am going to guide you a little more on how to arena, because of course you wouldn't want to be lost. So there is a bit to do out in the cities, and most of the gameplay loop is going to be in cities. As you can see, it's nighttime, and during nighttime, cities can be dangerous because enemies will spawn in the night. So, usually what you want to do is run around like a madman, killing wolves that are attacking you in the middle of the night. Dear God, that thing spawned on top of me. I'm dead.
With you.
Yes, with me died. Anyways, tell you what. Here we can see what time it is. It's 2 at night. If I rest until fully healed... Okay, cool. That brought it to morning. Now we're going to leave. And now it's going to be daytime. So now y'all know, don't go into the cities in the middle of the night when you're starting off an arena. Because you would have to find an inn as fast as possible. Now the cities here, there is a good bit you can do. You can ask the peasantry about various rumors, including the main quest. You can ask them who they are and learn that there are plenty of thieves around here. You can also ask them for directions to the nearest inn, temple, or store. Also, where any city gates, the palace, or the Mages Guild is, because there's only one Mages Guild, one palace, and one city gates. And you can ask for particular inns, temples, and equipment stores. So anyways, inns, you can rest there. Temples, you can get cured there, get blessings, but it's kind of useless. And stores, you can buy equipment there. The Mages Guild, you can buy spells there. In fact, we're going to learn where the Mages Guild is. A bit south. Okay. Well, we'll check south a little. And on the way, I'll just show you different buildings and what they look like. So, as you can see, the infrastructure of these cities and arena are quite fascinating. The architecture definitely is a few years behind, but hey, you know, for a game that came out in 1994, it's pretty decent. If I remember correctly, these buildings here are actually equipment. Nope, that's not an equipment store. Yeah, so some of these structures here are just straight up houses, and you can actually break into them to get loot the same way you could just in a dungeon. The palace allows you to talk to the king, and that's mostly just for the main quest. You would usually want to rest in the inn to discover new pieces of the main quest. And yeah, other than that, if you ever want to leave the city, well, as you can see, if you click the map here, you'll only enter the local map. So what you want to do is right-click your map, and that will actually open up the world map, allowing you to travel to anywhere in Tamriel. And yes, I mean anywhere in Tamriel. You can go to Black Marsh in this game. You can go from Black Marsh to High Rock in this game. You can go to the Somerset Isles in this game. You know, like, you can go to Morrowind. You know, you can go to Elsewhere. You can go anywhere. Valenwood. You know, the places that haven't been explored in the Elder Scrolls series yet. However, I do want to show off what the Mages Guild are like, and show off how the Spellmaker is, because it is a huge part of playing Arena. So if you're going to play as any Magic class, you will see this guy very often for this thing here, the Spellmaker. Spellmaker is possibly one of the craziest sandbox. The Arena Spellmaker is probably one of the craziest sandbox Spellmakers they ever had in an Elder Scrolls game. So, there are a few effects, just a few, that all do various different things, and each effect you can change its various attributes around. In fact, what I'm going to do here is just mess around with a simple level invisibility spell. So as you can see, you have base time. This is how many rounds the spell will last, just at level 1, just normally at any level regardless. And then you have the per level duration. And 1 round is 5 seconds. So this spell right here, just normally as is, would last for 15 seconds. I just increased the duration by another 10 seconds. Like, you could increase the duration pretty crazily. However, doing it per round like this, or even just doing it as a base, the issue with spell making is trying to get the spell you want can cost some money. Money we simply don't have. However, if you ever want to get rid of a spell effect, you can simply delete it by simply pressing effects again. You can also add more effects, change any effect. You can have up to, I think, 3 effects on any spell. So we can take, I don't know, damage, health, just as an effect. Have damage, health. This would cost 50 gold to make, and it will cost 12 mana to cast this spell at her current level. If I were to add, I don't know, cause disease, then that just increased the effect as well, yada yada. I can also add, I don't know, drain attribute strength. And then, I don't know, I can't add any more. As you can see, I can even click it and it does nothing. I can modify any effect out of the 3, so if I say I want to make this spell do even more damage, oh no, that's a lot of mana. Here, let me get rid of that effect. Yeah, so as you can see, you can just make some pretty nasty spells. There's a lot to play with. Designate as non-target is basically better invisibility. Some creatures can't see through your invisibility. Levitation allows you to go over pitfalls. Destroy wall can allow you to just, or the destroy effect and then wall selected can allow you to destroy walls. Like there's a lot of stuff you can do. Then there's detect magic. You can detect the magic on any item you have. You can press escape to just back out of any menu. And of course, all mages have access to various potions, magic items, and spells. You'll only see spells if you can cast spells, though. Other than that, you wouldn't even see Spellmaker. You would only get potions, magic items, and detect magic items as your different services. And potions consist of, various potions that do many things. I know Potion of Healing can heal you. Potion of Restore Power restores your power, or your mana, your spell points. Cure Disease cures disease. True Heal, or Heal True, heals even more. Levitation is levitation. Resist poison, self-explanatory. Free Action is immunity to paralysis and gets you out of paralysis. Cure Poison cures poison. Potion of Invisibility, visibility. I don't know what Potion of Purification is. I think it's just a cure-all ailment. There are definitely some potions here that I'm not too sure about. Like, I don't know what a Potion of Strength does. Never really used one. And then, of course, there's a steal option where you can just steal a random item from any shop. Well, anyways, that was the Mages Guild. And if you ever want to mark where anything is on your map, because as you can see here, we don't have this marked on our map despite the fact that we're just inside it. You can just right click the door and it'll place the text on your map, but you can also left click in your map and just throw in whatever text you want. I'm not going to do that because that would just be stupid. Anyways, we have various other things I guess I can show off real quick. Because I would like to at least show one store before I wrap up this video. Because I feel like stores are definitely important. Temples, they don't even matter. I wouldn't even bother with them unless you're doing a quest that takes you to a temple to talk to a priest. Equipment stores have these metal doors and a sign out front that just has like a mason and axe. Hang on, let me just show the sign off just so people can actually see it real quick. Yeah, it's a flail and a sword. And yeah, this here's the Worm's Armaments. And inside these weapon stores, these equipment stores, you can see the walls are lined with equipment. And at the very back is always a giant forging away. Like, look at this. I'm currently, my eyes are level with his crotch. And he's currently standing off the ground. He is actually a massive guy. But anyways, this guy right here is a chill dude, don't worry. He can sell you all sorts of equipment, and he'll only sell to you equipment that you can actually utilize, like this silver broadsword of paralyzation. If I couldn't use broadswords, I wouldn't even see this item even here. And of course, you can also buy various armors. This is the best way to get the best armor you need. Looks like we have an ebony kite shield with strength for sale. That's a pretty good kite shield there. And it looks like we can also utilize chain armor. So yeah, that's cool. Anyways, you can also repair items, sell items. I guess I could sell this buckler here. As you can see, there's this bit of a bartering system. So he's like, I haven't seen a buckler like that in years. I'll give you 7 gold for it, yes. Well, you can counter this and say, actually, I'd like it for 8 gold. And can I possibly pay that sum? Perhaps we can compromise that set. Here, I'm going to say 9 gold. That's quite funny, but seriously, okay. We're going to go back to 8 gold, because he'll stick with gold amounts based off of, like, you can do a little, like, sometime, like, when he's saying this, that means you're starting to negotiate with him. I couldn't get really a better price, so I'm just going to hit yes there. You can also steal equipment if you want, but if you get, if you failed the steal check, then you would get caught by the guards. So yeah, I'm not going to steal from the friendly giant. Alright, well, anyways, I guess that's about it. Yeah, I showed off character creation. I showed off how to make your character, how to actually play the game, how to fight, how to cast spells, how to go to the Mages Guild, how to rest. I guess I could show off what the rest of these buttons do. So, I mean, this button here is your magic, is your spell button. This button here of a hand grabbing a metal rod is your magic item button. If I had a magic item, then clicking this would allow me to access my magic items. The campfire is your rest. The snake curled around this needle is your status. So as you can see, it's currently 9 in the morning. Date is Turdus, first of the morning star. The year is 389. Currently carrying 8 kilograms out of 118 kilograms, and we're healthy. And this symbol here of someone grabbing a gold coin is your pilfering, your ability to pick pockets and unlock doors. And this here, this crummy piece of paper, is your quest log. As you can see, I don't really have a log, and I can't really print anything in. But I can exit it. Alright, Well, anyways, I do believe this has been a good tutorial. I hope you all enjoy Arena. This has been your bro Frostbrew, and I think I'm gonna catch you all in the next one. Later!